We're driving the Hot Mess Express today, so excuse the hair and everything. I haven't gone for my run yet today. Today I have an hour and a half scheduled run, but over this last week, I was able to finish all of my runs for week 21 of training, which was awesome. The longer runs, which were an hour and a half and 2 hours each, I did run at a slower pace, closer to 10 or 11 minute miles, just to really kind of baby my left foot, make sure that it was okay. And I actually think maybe I've discovered two things. Number one, it may be that I had issues during my marathon with the trail that I was running on. It's paved, but it's kind of like slightly up in the middle. And so if you're running along the right side, going out and coming in, because it's a very popular trail, there's lots of cyclists and other runners and walkers. So you're supposed to kind of stay to the side. It would have meant that I was running constantly at a slight tilt, like not pronounced, but for 4 hours and 15 minutes, it would have been enough. Especially, running out, you're on the right, running back, you're on the right, coming the other direction, but same issue. Number two, and this one I was really surprised about, but I think my most cushiony shoes, the Brooks, which ones are those? The Ghost. It might be too much cushion, or just the amount of cushion, or the way that it's in there is like maybe adjusting my gait a little bit, because I noticed when I ran with those shoes on my 2 hour run, my foot started hurting like a lot earlier, not badly, but almost immediately I kind of started having some issues. So I'm going to try running, let's see. I think I'm going to do my run today, which is an hour and a half, in my launches, which have the least amount of cushion. And then the Levitates I think are just barely more, but my feet haven't been hurting in those shoes. So we're going to try that and see if it works. In the meantime, I don't have a ton of footage, but what I did do is record myself doing a stretch that I actually learned from my kettlebell instructor. And the reason she taught this to me is it turns out a lot of times people who think that they are tight, like in their hip flexors or in their hamstrings, the issue is actually mobility issues in their ankle. And so she taught me this stretch, and it has absolutely saved my running. I've had a lot, completely been able to get rid of some of the pain I was experiencing in my left hamstring from like a year ago that just did not seem to want to go away, went away after I started doing this stretch. So hopefully if you're watching this, you find this helpful. And I also got a little bit of footage of foam rolling, and I'll try to talk about that a little bit too. Apologies that my foot won't be totally in the shot, but you can see I'm wrapping a resistance band around the ball of my foot. You straighten your leg a bit, not all the way, don't lock your knee ever, and rotate your foot 5 times clockwise and then 5 times counterclockwise, just with some gentle resistance against the band. After you've done that 5 times in each direction, move the leg a little bit closer to you, try to keep it straight, and do that again, 5 times clockwise, 5 times counterclockwise. And then my right foot, which is on the ground, I'm going to straighten it out for the last set and do 5 times clockwise and 5 times counterclockwise. You can always increase it. You don't have to do just 5. Sometimes if I feel like I'm really tight, I'll do it 6 to 8 times. I find much more than that, it starts to feel a little bit difficult. My leg starts to cramp. And then you can see I'm switching and doing the exact same thing on my right foot. Sorry about the mess in the background. That's just how my house always is. And I know my outfit looks weird. It's all green. That's because I actually recorded this on St. Patrick's Day. I also try to incorporate foam rolling a lot more frequently now than I used to. It's almost like being able to give yourself a massage on the places where your knots are the worst. A couple notes from when I was taught this by a trainer. Never roll over anything that's like your joints or your bones. Like, don't ever roll your knees, and never do a foam rolling on cold muscles. So if you don't have time to foam roll immediately after a workout, then what you should do is, when you decide you want to foam roll, whatever you normally do for your warm-up. So for me, I have about a 90-second to 2-minute warm-up. I will do that, and then I will foam roll, because again, you just really don't want to do it on cold muscles. But then what you do is you can just roll back and forth on the muscles, find where you have tight spots, which unfortunately tends to be where it kind of hurts the most. Muscle hurt, not, again, if it hurts, it's not the right type of hurt, don't do that. But if you find like a knot, like I know I have one, this is why I'm doing my ankle or my calf so much. I've got some in my calf, especially on my left side in this shot. which is why I'm just focusing on it. And then my hip flexors, I tend to get tight right through there. So I'll lean on it and do that. I have seen people put tons of pressure on just like one part and it feels good for them. It's agony for me. I do have fibromyalgia, so some of my pressure points are just more sensitive than most people. So this is what I will do for foam rolling. If you can manage to get in even like 5 minutes, it can make a big difference. Or even just like a minute or two on one problem spot, I found that it makes a really big difference. So that's it. I hope that that is helpful to someone out there and that you're all having a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.